It's actually a lot more solid than I thought it'd be. Hello. This time on CrashTestDummyTV. Alright, now I've shot ahead a little bit. I'm going to redo this screen that I did for the Z in plastic. Well, I don't know what plastic it is. It feels quite solid. It does snap, it kind of splinters. It's quite solid. Yeah, very solid. I just hope it's okay to use on the bike. I mean, if it does break, it does break, but it's not going to give like plastic will. Anyway, plastic breaks too. Now, first time that I've worked with this stuff, and cutting it is very interesting because it's kind of cutting or melting at the same time. Get out of the way. Oh, ooh, that was close. Damn close. It almost broke it. See what I mean? Melts back on. Fits the template, but doesn't fit that curve. And the way I'm going to do that is this. Alright, now I don't know how long this is going to take, so let's leave it in there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes maybe, depending on. Cool. Oh, that's 10 minutes and that's done, I think. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's, that's cooked. Now, leave the oven open so it airs itself out and hopefully the girlfriend doesn't notice. I might have to mould this a little bit. This is gooed over. Oh, I don't think this worked. Damn it. The other way I was going to try was to do it on the inside of it. So that's plan B, but let's see if we can mould this a little bit somehow. Spoon will do. I should put the helmet on. Try not to let it cool down too fast. Alright. How are we? It's very soft. Not soft, but I can use my fingers. Actually, the aluminium's still warm, so I can get it outside. Shit, that's moulded in. Pop it. Get that off real quick. Come on. Ow. Put it back on the aluminium before it goes a different shape. And that's not liking me. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! It's hot. Hot, 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 hot. maybe flip it over, sit on the inside for a little bit. Oh, that's warm. Yeah, it's sitting down in there now. Alright, now pull it away real quick. Need some water. Cool it down rapidly. Ow, 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 ow. Hot, 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 hot. Got to recycle everything. Alright, now, you can shut up. Now, downside, I did have the thought of that clamp being in too far and it moulded itself in there, so that's a pooper. I might leave it in there, we'll see how we go. Might shape it some more. Definitely going to have to sand down the front. It's gone all blistery. Now the inside where it was all protected majority. So I think if I do it again, I'm definitely sitting on the inside. Ow, that's still bloody hot. Alright, that's all I want to do for now. How does it look? Straighten it up a little, hope the tank doesn't fall off. Now there is a line on the plastic on the ignition key holder, cover, whatever it is. So I'm basically using that and roughly centre everything. It's not bad. It's pretty bloody good actually. Not bad for a bit of plastic bung in the oven after you've made an aluminium mould. I think it is a little bit out, but as a version 1, I think that's a success, and I think I might be able to cut that down just that little bit if I can get that jigsaw around properly. Cool. Version 1. I want to measure it all up, make sure the curve and everything is all correct. Ouch, ouch, ouch. It's still bloody hot. Yeah, okay. It did mould itself alright. I'll leave that there. Ouch. To shape ouch itself. Still a lot of work. Anyway, still might do the other version on the inside. So, type of plastic unknown. Let's say Perspex, because it has a snapness to it. It's quite a thick Perspex. I do have a clear Perspex around, so I might even try that one. Oven was 230 degrees, but I would probably recommend about 200 or 150. Actually, yeah, start off on 150. Maybe it won't bubble so much, because that is a lot of heat when you think about it. Yeah, let it mould maybe 5 or 10 minutes depending on thickness. Then take it out very carefully, probably with gloves on would be better, because your aluminium base is still going to be warm for a while. If you do steel, that'll hold the heat for a lot longer. Where was I up to? Yeah, oven temperature, time limit, depending on thickness, and obviously plan to do a couple of different types. Cool. Alright, Version 2 is next. Ooh, look at this. It's coming along. Taking me a while. 2 times with bog, sanding in between, and to make it a lot quicker, using that before I sand, so it makes it faster. So, without getting paint on my bloody bikes, I'm going to paint this. Alright, first coat. Leave that to tack off. Now what this is doing, it's going to show me the shape of the fairing. It's really hard to see when you've got bog line everywhere. It's not too bad. It's got a little bit of a difference on this side compared to that. Bit of a hump. But only I notice. And I think this fin was in a little bit too far on the melting process. Apart from that, it's coming up. Cool. Anyway, I'm going to spray a few coats, sand down in between, and get rid of these tiny, tiny little pinholes. Cool. Old crappy bit of Perspex lying around, turning into a nice, beautiful frame. Fairing. One thing I have to do is drill the holes. I haven't done that yet. I should do it before the final coat, just in case I crack any bog or anything like that. Which means I've got to figure out how I'm going to mount it. So that's next. Cool. What I'm doing now, I've got it mounted up there solid on these. I've got it drilled and I'm happy with where it sits. Now I've got to weld in this bracket to the rods. To keep it square, I've got the clamps on there. I've gone and borrowed, shout out to a friend of mine, I've got an old Neanderthal old arc welder, but he's got a arc welder that is newer. So I'm going to use his and hopefully it's a little bit better than mine. Worst case, I've got mine as backup. But arc welding, I hate doing. I don't want to sit there for 5 minutes trying to get an arc. I'm going to have to cover the hell out of this because I really don't want to take the gauges off or anything else off, because I've got it mounted where I want it, where I want it to sit. So I'm putting bits of leather, I'm putting rugs, or I wouldn't call it a wooden blanket. I wouldn't call it a woolen blanket, but it is woolen filled and it's cotton outside, so it won't burn in a hurry. So I'm going to cover the hell out of it. Cool. So what am I doing now? I'm just disassembling this. Basically, you've got to undo here, and in the end you undo the mount at the top. And then that's all there is to it. 3 bolts. Alright, let's try this again. What I was using, which I think what was wrong, is brass rods, brazing. I don't think that's right. I think you need gas as well for that. But hey, trial and error. Got some more welding rods. They're apparently from mild steel. They are made of steel. So see how we go. Cross fingers. Really not a fan of new welding rods, too bloody long. Oh, wow, did something, yay. Did you tack or not? You would have tacked. Hope that's straight. Just another one or two, just to make sure, Alright, it's definitely tacked, and that's actually working a lot better, a lot easier. But, first of all, it's my little hammer, test out the weld. Holy shit, it's almost the best I've ever done with an arc welder. Alright, let's pull it all to bits. See how we went. Oh well, it's welded on there. It's nice and solid. It's only going to be holding a little fairing anyway, so apart from when I grind it down, see how much carbon there's there, because I know there's a big build-up of carbon in spots, so I might still fill up a few holes, but apart from that, that's pretty much done. And it's all held its shape too, which is good. Cool, next phase, complete. Pretty. Still a couple of spots to fill, but what I might do is actually bog that up. Yeah, it's going to be nice like that, so yeah, I'll bog it up, sand the rest, and spray it. Cool. Almost phase complete. Excellent. Alright, they're going to talk on the radio, so I'm going to stop recording. Cool. Alright, well, I've bogged it up, made a mess of it, but I've cleaned it up again with my wood rasp. Alright, it's enough. Paint it. Alright, painted already. Alright, we are done. Look at that. Pretty. I wouldn't say the best welds in the world, but they're all bogged up afterwards. So it looks amazing. There's only a couple of holes anyway. There's more pits through using the vise and that sort of thing. But it is overkill for what I'm using it for. But, you know, I prefer overkill than underkill. The only thing I have to do now is drill holes. Now I'm not too concerned with drilling holes in the pretty paint because, well, I can always give it a touch up. But I've got to drill the fairing in, and I didn't want to do that until it was all together anyway. Now that it's all together, I can drill everything up. Look at that, it's straight too. It's actually a lot more solid than I thought it'd be. I'm only using 3 mounts. I haven't even bolted this on yet, and I'm happy with how stable it is. But yeah, I will bolt it on. The little brackets up under here, the aluminium ones I made, I ended up, sorry about the mic bump, I ended up covering those in tape, electrical tape. I've got a wide roll, that one, a wide roll of electrical tape, same stuff with electrical tape. When I do run out of black electrical tape, I usually just cut a slither, use this, get my money's worth out of it. Not that I bought it. Where was I? Yes, so the brackets, being alloy, they're really hard to paint. Alloy chips off really easily, so I decided to cover it in a contact adhesive, if you want to call it that. You could possibly use rubberized spray maybe, but I don't know, it'd be up to you. Probably wouldn't be a bad one actually, because the metal surface on top of the paint won't scratch so much. Groovy. Groovy, groovy. Got to get rid of my marks now. Did actually help these. Did help very well. So do as many marks as you can to square it up and, you know, do what the painters do and that sort of stuff. Because angles, yeah. I wanted to get nice angles. Same angle on the bar as the gauge. I think I got that because it connected the line of the ignition. I wanted to keep a nice rough angle. You know, I'm trying to recreate angles or continue angles. So the tailpiece is up you know, all those upward angles I wanted to keep within each other. I can't do them all exact. Forks, for instance, you know, that's there. The fairing's slightly out, but it's still within. I don't know, I'm getting all arty-farty here, but there are a lot of angles. You know, this one here, for instance, that's roughly on the same angle as the fairing, just to match it up. Get some sort of sequence through it. Cool. Bit of alloy, bit of Perspex, one household oven. Very, very, very basic tools. I'm talking files and jigsaws, and you know, jigsaw's probably the only power tool I used on this. Yeah, so doable in the garage. But the process afterwards is in the painting, and that's where it's patience, because you've got to smooth sand it, give it another coat, almost sand that whole coat off just to get it smooth a little bit more. Yes, so that's later, but cool. Anyway, hope you like it. Leave your comments. What do you think? Hope I may have helped on a project you might be up to. But there's various materials around the garage and house that you can use either as a template or a mould or a version 1, just to find out a way that you can do it better next time. Cool. Now that these bastards on the radio have started talking, I'm going to go, because they're ruining my video. Groovy. Speak to you all later. Bye. Oh, ride safe out there. Get to Bike Mart. Go to Bike Mart. Go to Bike Mart. Ooh. They do international, well, they could do international postage. Bike Mart. Ooh. Bike Mart. Bike Mart. Cool. Later all, mind you, there are Bike Marts all around the world, I've noticed on Google. So Google Bike Mart and go and visit them. Doesn't matter what country. Keep the name alive. Get to Bike Mart. Go to Bike Mart.